Welcome to the latest episode of the Real World Nutrition Podcast. This is episode 225, Dietary Supplements and Affiliate Links. What consumers need to know. Hi everyone, welcome to the latest episode of the Real World Nutrition Podcast. I am Shelly Rael, registered dietitian nutritionist and the founder of Real World Nutrition. And today's episode is about dietary supplements, affiliate links, and how those two things intersect online. Now, this topic matters because supplements are everywhere, and so is misinformation. So it's likely that you have or are currently taking a dietary supplement, maybe more than one. The dietary supplement industry is a multi-billion-dollar global market, with estimates placing that global market value at around $200 billion in 2025. And that's projected to double by 2034. So less than 10 years, it's expected to double. And in the US, the market was valued at over $68 billion in 2025. That's significant, and they are expecting more growth. Like I said, the global market is expected to double in less than 10 years. In the United States, it's expected to be more than that. It is big business, but many people have no idea what goes on or does not go on behind the scenes when it comes to dietary supplements. For context, this conversation does come up every semester in my sports nutrition classes. When students are asked how dietary supplements are regulated in the United States, the majority of them have no idea. Most assume supplements are regulated the same way as medications. And this assumption makes sense, but it's incorrect. And I do mention my class every semester, but this is part of a wider thing in the population. Every class I've ever spoken to, whether it's one that I teach or ones that I'm a guest speaker in, majority of the population doesn't have a clue about how supplements are regulated. Now, first, I want to make it clear. I know I have people who hear this around the world. I am specifically talking about regulations in the United States, so it may be different where you are. So I want to start with how supplements are actually regulated, again, in the United States. So dietary supplements fall under a law called DSHEA, or the Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act, which was passed in 1994. So we're talking 30 years ago now. And this law, when it was passed, dramatically changed the way supplements are overseen. So unlike medications, supplements do not need to be proven safe or even effective before they're sold. There is no pre-approval process through the FDA or the Food and Drug Administration. Now, some people think this is great, no problem. The FDA needs to stay out of our business. But again, supplements do not need to be proven safe or effective. That means you can be purchasing something that is unsafe or ineffective. So really, the reality, again, in the United States, the responsibility for this is placed on the manufacturer. Companies who make the supplements, companies who are selling this to you, they are the ones that are expected to ensure that their products are safe, properly labeled, and not misleading. And one might think, well, of course, they're not going to sell us something that's not safe. Have you lived in this world? But really, there are plenty of companies who are on the up and up, totally legitimate companies, and they do have safe, properly labeled, and don't have misleading products. But then there's plenty of companies that do. And to make this clear, the FDA can step in only after a product causes harm or violates the law. So that means the system is largely reactive, not preventative. And I want to make this clear. The law that was passed by Congress in 1994, that DSHEA, prohibits the FDA from stepping in until the product causes harm. So it's not like the FDA is choosing this of their own volition. Congress passed a law that prevents them from doing this. And how does the FDA know a product has caused harm? That's the catch. Because a lot of people I know who have had a negative reaction, an adverse reaction from a supplement they have taken, such as nausea, vomiting, headache, any type of thing, actually not one I've ever encountered has said when I asked them if they've reported it to the FDA. So this is the thing, is the FDA steps in only after a product causes harm. But if they do not know somebody had a harmful effect from a supplement, how can they step in? So this structure is why the supplement industry is often described as the buyer beware marketplace. There are companies that test their products. There are companies that follow good manufacturing processes and companies that are transparent about ingredients. Otherwise, they'd be out of business. But there's also companies that do the bare minimum or worse. Those companies don't always last long because of so many lawsuits, or they fold and they're gone. Consumers are left trying to tell the difference between this company that's testing their products and doing good manufacturing versus the companies that aren't. But even worse, if consumers don't know how the industry works and just blindly take supplements without questioning things, mostly because they're wholly unaware that they need to ask questions, they may not know. A lot of my students, when they are learning about this, when people learn about this, they're just blown away and learn that they have to do more research on their own into the companies that they're buying supplements from. Now, after all that, let's layer in social media. Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, and whatever new social media platform is around the corner are filled with nutrition and supplement advice. Again, my algorithm may be different than yours, so I see it a lot. Some of that information comes from licensed professionals like myself. Some comes from people with no formal training at all, 0. Credentials are not required to post confidently online. Heck, it comes from people with no formal training at all. There's people who don't even know how basic human body functions work, how human nutrition works, just basic stuff. So not just only are credentials not required to post confidently online, sometimes intelligence is also not required. So it's common, at least again in my algorithm, to see claims that doctors, dietitians, or scientists are hiding the truth or are influenced by pharmaceutical companies. And the irony is that many of the people who make these accusations are earning money through affiliate links, sponsorships, or supplement brands they promote directly. So they're claiming that we are influenced by pharmaceutical companies while they're influenced by pharmaceutical companies that they promote. And people say, well, no, not pharmaceutical companies, supplement companies. People may be surprised who owns these supplement companies behind the scenes. These aren't coming from nowhere. A lot of pharmaceutical companies also own these supplement companies. Okay, so I just want to make this clear. Affiliate links themselves are not the problem. No, affiliate marketing can be used ethically. A creator may recommend a product they have researched and disclose that they earn a commission if someone purchases. That can be transparent, and it's responsible. If I want to, I could have on my website products that I like, link it to an affiliate link where I get like half a penny for each time somebody buys something. I don't currently have that, but I reserve the right to do so. So I'm not saying, again, affiliate links are not the problem. The problem arises when products are sold using fear, urgency, or misleading claims. When someone exaggerates risks, cherry picks data, or frames a supplement as a solution to a manufactured problem, trust is lost. It's also important to understand disclosure rules. Now, you may not have to follow these disclosure rules if you're not selling things, but here's the thing. The Federal Trade Commission requires that paid partnerships, sponsorships, and affiliate relationships to be clearly disclosed. That disclosure should be obvious and easy to understand, and it shouldn't be buried in a long list of hashtags or hidden at the bottom of the caption. Transparency matters, and a lack of it is a red flag. So I want to make this clear. That FTC requirement, again, paid partnerships, sponsorships, and affiliate relationships be clearly disclosed. If I get a free product, I get this on probably more often than people would realize. I get products from companies, food products, a new product, a new line or flavor of something. And if I post about that product, even though I'm not being paid, they gave it to me for free, I am required to disclose that I received that product for free. And that company may not have even asked me to talk about it on social media. That may be something I choose to do. I still disclose that I received that product for free. And a lot of people aren't even aware of this FTC regulations. Again, this is United States specific. And there I see violations all the time. And I say I don't report the people because I don't have time to fill out these forms. But it's just something that's required, and a lot of people may not know about it or do it. So, how can people tell the difference between reliable information and marketing? Well, we have these warning signs to watch for, but I always say, ask questions, be inquisitive, and don't just click the purchase link and buy without asking questions. All right, so here are the warning signs. One is conspiracy style language. Phrases like, they don't want you to know this, and that's designed to bypass critical thinking. They are hiding this from us. They don't want you to know this. Yes, there's a cure for cancer out there, and they're just hiding it from us. Trust me, it's not. It's not out there. Another is promises of quick fixes or miracle results. Health does not work that way. The only time that, in my opinion, I would say a miracle result is Narcan. That's something, boy, that is one quick fix and bringing people back from the dead. But other than that, there is no real quick fixes, no miracle results for long-term health. Fear-based marketing is another common tactic. If a message is designed to scare someone into buying a product, caution is warranted. So I see this. This is a toxin, and I can help you detox with this product, with this supplement. Credentials also matter. So vague titles like health coach or biohacker don't indicate formal training. Now, that doesn't mean someone has nothing valuable to say, but it does mean claims should be evaluated carefully. And they may not have it in their name or handle. Like my handle on most social media is just Shell Rael. I am so old, back when we could only have 8 characters for things. But in my bio, if you click and look at my information, it says I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist. Be wary of products that claim to cure or prevent multiple diseases. It's not how nutrition or medicine works. For example, I've seen things where it can heal your gut, eliminate cancer, eliminate diabetes, cure your eczema, improve your hearing, grow your hair longer. I mean, come on, these are multiple areas. And that's just there's not a single product, not even a single food that would do all that. So that's not how things work. Oh, it would be so nice. Reliable sources cite evidence. So that means references to established organization, peer-reviewed research, or well-recognized institutions. Testimonials and personal stories are not the same as data. I'm not saying that testimonials and personal stories are not important. And I'm also saying I'm not going to give all kinds of references in a social media post, but boy, if you ask me, I sure will be able to. Another red flag is demonizing entire food groups or nutrients. Nutrition is about balance and context, not extremes. I've seen many things where they say people say fiber is not essential. We don't need it. Well, that's so untrue. Well, if you want to have a healthy life and feel comfortable, yeah, you need fiber. Okay, so demonizing an entire food group, demonizing nutrients. You don't need carbohydrates. Well, that's a nutrient. Yeah, you do need carbohydrates as a human being. You do. And then finally, pay attention when the person identifying the problem is also selling the solution. Now, that doesn't automatically mean the information is wrong. It should prompt skepticism. Ask those questions, inquire, just dig a little bit deeper. Yeah, I do have identified people who have the problem. They have difficulty with meal planning, with planning out healthy meals, coming up with healthy meals. I offer people a solution to that. That's a common problem, so it's not a quick fix. It's a whole ongoing process. But so again, we can have somebody who identifies a problem and they sell the solution, because that's a common thing in marketing. We identify a person's pain points and share how we can help them with their pain points. So again, have skepticism. And it's also important to remember that real health education takes time. Complex topics like supplements, hormones, or metabolism cannot be fully explained in a short video or a few sentences. Complex topics like supplements, we take a whole week in one of my classes. That's still not enough time. I went to be a guest speaker in a health education class one time. I was supposed to be there for an hour. I was there for 3, talking just about dietary supplements and evaluating that information. That was a long day. And that says something, because this was a Saturday class, and that class stayed for 3 hours listening to me, asking me questions. But anyway, real health education takes time. Human nutrition is complex. Boy, I did 6 years of college for human nutrition, ongoing education as things evolve over the years. It's not something you can fully grasp in a weekend course, a 6-week course, or a 6-month course. All right, if something sounds too good to be true or too alarming to be true, you know the answer. It's worth pausing before sharing, before buying. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Now, supplements can have a role in healthcare. They can. When I make a recommendation for a supplement, I'm usually talking about the specific nutrient, such as, for example, not recommending it here, but vitamin D or B12. I'm not recommending a specific brand. I would love to, but I don't. I have my favorite, but it's not necessary to have that specific brand. Supplements are not inherently bad, but they're not magic either. I know people who say, I started taking supplement and I don't feel any different. Well, that's because that's not how supplements work. Supplements are meant to supplement a balanced diet, not to replace food or lifestyle habits. Reliable information tends to be measured, contextual, and transparent. I tell you what, when people ask me questions, it's rarely a yes-no answer. It's rarely a simple, straightforward. It's a lot of, it depends. What's this? What's that? What do you do? What's your background? There's all these things that we take in context. It does not rely on fear or urgency. It encourages discussion with a qualified health professional who know an individual's medical history. There's been times where I've seen people tell me, oh, so-and-so recommended this product, this dietary supplement that they're selling. And I'm like, oh, do they know you have high blood pressure? Because that could be dangerous. For anyone wanting to learn more about reputable sources, you can go to the National Institutes of Health Office of Dietary Supplements and the FDA's Dietary Supplement Resources. I have those linked in the show notes. I also, as always, have a blog that's related to this that also has those two links in it as well. Give some more context here. And I know a .gov website, not flashy, not something that's always engaging, but they are grounded in evidence, at least as of January 2026. Hopefully that will stay intact, the evidence-based information. All right, so here's the thing. The takeaway from today's episode is simple. Be curious, be skeptical, and value transparency. Supplements and affiliate links, they're not going away. But informed consumers are better equipped to navigate them safely. And one more thing, doctors, dietitians, and scientists are not paid by big pharma to promote preventive health. Most of us jokingly say we're waiting for that check that's never going to come. All right, I hope you gained some insight and are more informed after hearing today's episode. If you liked what you heard, follow the show, share the show, leave a review of the show in your podcast app. And as always, thanks for listening to this week's episode. Take care and bye for now.